It feels so good to have this all planted. Beans, some pumpkin, and lots of onions. Darlene here. Welcome to my channel and welcome to SHEDWARS. We are a gardening community teaching the world how to garden. So I hope you enjoy today's video. Are you ready? Let's go. Woo, woo. That's me making a noise, seeing if I could get the bunny to run again. The bunny was running, but then he stopped. Bunny, 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 bunny. Maybe he thinks if he doesn't move, I can't see him. I suspect that's what's going on there. Well, I have all of this area here that needs something planted in it. Goodness, it's the first I've talked this morning. Well, I have planted twice now. I've planted starts from some beans.
Where are you, honey? My sandal.
Okay, I'm back. Had some hunter education stuff to talk over with my hubby. As I was saying, I planted bean starts in here twice, and both times they disappeared. But that's when the potatoes was still here. I dug up all the potatoes, and now I'm just going to plant some seeds. They may or may not have time to give me any fruit. I'm going to plant some pumpkin and some bean seeds here. For sure, the pumpkin probably won't have time to give me pumpkin, but the beans might. Because we don't have, let's see, today is July 20th, I believe. And our first frost is probably the first week in September. No, yes. Middle of September, I think. I'll have to look. But it's September, so we have a month and a half, 30, 40, probably about 45 days. Maybe 60 if we're lucky, before our first frost. Well, Farmer's Almanac actually says October 22nd, so I have longer than I thought. Well, the bunny did move, but I wasn't quick enough with the camera to catch him, because he moves fast. And suddenly. So what I'm going to do first is add some more soil to right here. And then I have both bone meal and blood meal that I'm going to add to the planting area. So I better get going, huh? The blood meal is high in nitrogen, and the bone meal is high in the P. Potassium, I believe, is the correct word there. Okay, next come the seeds, and then a little bit more soil over the top. I'm going to put them pretty close together on account of if they don't germinate or I just want a bunch. I'm going to do mostly bean seeds and then just a couple of the squash pumpkin seeds. Okay, so I'm going to push each seed down just a little bit and cover it up. And then I'm going to put just this very slight layer of fresh soil over the top. I'm not showing you what I'm not going to show you. So they're all planted. Tamp down the soil just a bit. They will get watered in just a little while. So my tip for growing beans or pumpkins or squash, if you don't think you have enough time, give it a try anyway. If nothing else, you'll have some pretty green things to look at. I just don't want this part of the ground to be empty, because when it's empty, it grows weeds. So I also have some small onion starts that I'm probably going to add right behind here. And over here I have my peas are getting pretty ready to pull out. See how they're getting. I didn't get a lot of peas off of the pea plants, but I got enough for a couple of snakes, or several snakes. And I have some grass in here that I need to pull out and kind of clean the spot up a little bit. This garden plot is 22 steps long and 12 steps wide. This is my main garden. Now by steps, I measured it by the size of my feet. So that's probably not quite a foot long, but that's kind of what I'm counting it as. So it's actually a little less than 12 by 22, I suspect. I need to go out and step off this part of the garden. I'm going to guess it's about the same length as the other one, so that I'm going to say 25, and it's more like 8 feet wide. So let's go 8 by 25 there. Out in front, it's mostly flowers. I have one little patch of garden things, and it's probably about 4 foot square, maybe more like, oh no, I'm going to say 5 foot, 5 by 4, right in there. And I guess we could count the Jerusalem artichoke, because technically that's a garden thing, but it's really more of a decorative thing too. So that probably is more like 4 by 4 there, 5 by 4 there, so that would be 9 by 8, if my math is correct. This area here is basically just all flowers. I do have the, and you can't see it in the picture here, watermelon in a little pot there. Other than that, it's basically just flowers. And this part of my mound is just basically just flowers. And then if we look over here, flowers, raspberries all along the side of the house, and I don't know the dimensions there. The only thing that's there are the raspberries, and on the other side, I have blackberries and grapes. And those are just along the perimeter of the fence. So plant what you can, where you can. As you can tell, I don't have a very large garden. I have several little bitsy pieces of garden. I have a large yard, but my husband savors his grass and loves to ride his zero-turn lawnmower. And I'm not going to deprive him of that privilege that he so wants to enjoy. So I did go out this morning and harvest a bunch of lettuce and some parsley and some chives. I won't show you those on this video, but I might on a non-SHEDWARS video. I did weigh them. So I hope you enjoyed this video and understood all of the tips that I gave you. Gardening in a small space. Don't ever give up. No matter how small your space is. Even if it's way smaller than mine, you might just have a patio or a balcony, whatever. Maybe just a windowsill in your house. Grow something. Be fruitful. Do what you can to be self-sustained. Grow as much of your own food as you are able to, and don't put yourself down about what you're not able to do, because we all have different abilities, not only physically to work in the garden, but what kind of gardens we can have based on our space, our climate, our watering situation. Just a whole number of factors. Every gardener's gardening abilities are different. Don't just take what some gardener, me, or anybody else tells you is the right way to do something. Do your research. Learn about all the different ways that you can do things, and then decide which way or ways are best for your garden. And if you don't know which ways are best for your garden, try several different ones. My gardens are basically kind of like back to Eden gardens because I don't have a rototiller, and I have never rototilled any part of my garden ever. We first started my main garden plot by taking a shovel and just flopping the grass over it so that the dirt side was up. And then I added compost from the store and raised bed soil. And every year I've added more, and I've got my own compost pile now. And I add stuff from that. And so every year my ground gets a little more fertile. Theoretically, that should mean that my plants get healthier and bigger. It doesn't necessarily. But I enjoy gardening. And I hope you enjoy gardening too. And the things you can't garden, go to the grocery store and buy while you can, while they're still there. I hear all of these threats about food going away. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. But why take any chances? Go buy up what your family needs for the next, say, 3 to 6 months at least. More if you can afford it and have space to store it. And grow what you can. Harvest what you can. Preserve what you can. Can what you can. Water bath and pressure cook canning. Dehydrating. Some of you might even have freeze dryers. That's a little expensive for my little garden. Do what you can, while you can, as you can. And I think I've repeated myself a little bit, but it's important. To all my shed warriors, thank you for sharing your gardens with all of us. I enjoy sharing my garden with all of you. To everyone else in the world that's watching our videos, our Shed War videos, and my non-Shed War videos, thank you for watching. I appreciate all of you so much. And if you could all help me grow this channel, that would be wonderful. You do that by hitting that like button, hitting the subscribe button, and the notification bell, and sharing my videos on your social media platforms. May the good Lord richly bless you. May your gardens do what you want them to do. Don't forget to thank God for the garden, because He's the one that actually does part of the watering and causes His little seeds to grow and performs the miracles that the plants provide for you. Don't forget to always seek the truth. Until my next video, Shed Wars or non-Shed Wars, either one. This is Darlene, signing out.